This is Game Set Match Kentucky, episode 33, recorded on Friday, September 29th, 2023, entitled New York, New York. Hey everybody, it's time for yet another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to the Central Kentucky Tennis Series and maybe a whole lot more that you never asked for. We're actually recording today on Friday, September 29th. My name is Chris Godby. I'm the chairman and one of the founders of the Central Kentucky Tennis Series, where the lines are good and sandbagging is for golf. And no, we still don't play pickleball. I don't anyway. Do you, Chad?
I do not.
Okay, we'll get to that. I am once again at my work office in Russell Springs, Kentucky, and I'm going to start calling it Studio B. I'm at Studio B because I don't really like Studio A, and I would like to have a new Studio A. So I'm in Studio B, and Chad Young is at his Studio A in Scottsville. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So this pickleball thing, I'm telling you, once a week, somebody that ends up talking to me about the fact that I play tennis, and usually it's a conversation about my foot and my foot surgery, and I tell them when I can start playing again, and they inevitably ask me, do you play pickleball?
Yeah.
And I look at them, and I try not to, but I look at them like I'm insulted. So I say, kindly though, I say, no, I do not play pickleball.
Well, I would say once a week, probably multiple times a week. We have somebody at the facility in Bowling Green who comes in and asks where the pickleball courts are. Because they do have pickleball set up at the gym that is adjacent,
yes,
and connected to the tennis facility. And so I kindly usher them in that direction. I have played pickleball, but I don't play pickleball. There's probably
that's more than I've done. I've never held a paddle, and part of me feels like it would be giving in, and part of me feels like it would be giving up. So let's just leave it at that.
I have a hard enough time playing tennis as much as I'd like to. That's probably the reason that I don't play pickleball, because I've played it. It is enjoyable, but I barely have enough time to get the tennis in that I really want to.
About 25 years ago, a friend got me to start playing racquetball with him. And we only played a few times, but and the first time I was hitting balls, I was hitting them with topspin.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that doesn't work in racquetball. But anyway, I feel like racquetball set me back in tennis about 3 years for some reason. I always say that. And so I'm afraid like pickleball is going to do a similar thing to me. Like it's going to set me back in tennis or something if I play it. So,
well, I have taught, we do some classes. We've done some PE classes for homeschool groups. So I've taught pickleball. I've taught racquetball. And I used to play a lot of racquetball. Actually, I was playing racquetball most of college. I didn't pick up a tennis racket through most of my 20s. And then at some point in time, I was trying to do both. And I don't think you can. I don't think you can play racquetball and tennis at the same time, or it'll mess up both. Pickleball, I think you can do both. I know a lot of people that do. I think you can do both because the swings are different in some ways, but not radically. But as you pointed out, if you're a tennis player and you try to hit topspin playing racquetball, you're going to struggle. And it's just you can't hit the racquetball the same way. You can't hit a racquetball the same way you do in tennis to be successful. And you can't hit a tennis ball the way that you hit a racquetball and be successful unless you're standing on top of the net.
Yeah. So. Well, that's way more attention than pickleball will ever deserve on this show. May we never mention it again. I don't know. So let's talk. What else are we going to talk about today? Today on this episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, we've got more point standings. We've got point standings are current as of today for the first 7 tournaments of this year on the CKTS. Chad's going to tell us a little bit about his recent trip to New York City and the U.S. Open. And we've got some announcements of various tennis activities that are coming up. But first, I'd like to tell you about Vision Cabinet Source in Campbellsville, Kentucky. It's a kitchen and bath cabinet supplier that ships all over the United States and has for over a decade. Whether you're building a new home or renovating a room in your home, Vision Cabinet Source can provide you with classic cabinet styles that are well built and affordable. You'll also find that they go above and beyond to provide service that exceeds expectations, from answering your initial questions to ensuring that you're happy with the final delivered product. Every Vision cabinet is built upon their promise to deliver well-constructed cabinets made from solid hardwoods, classic versatile designs that complement your style, affordable options that fit your budget, and on-time delivery with shipment within 24 hours. Accessible personal service you can count on as well. They have many different painted and stained lines of cabinets that are stocked in their warehouse in Campbellsville, Kentucky. In making these beautiful cabinets, they have a 17-step finishing process that assures top quality craftsmanship. Go online and look at their styles and designs for yourself, and you'll agree that they do great work at an affordable price. Let me pause for a second because last week, their website was down for a very good reason. And let me see if it is still down. And here's
all
why.
The traffic from Game Set Match.
That's part of it. We have crashed their site. Jason, you're welcome, Jason Ford. No, they are. I don't know if Jason wants me to say this or not. I'm going to anyway. They're adding online purchasing.
Oh, wow.
To their website. So it's been taken down to get all that going, and it's going to be even easier to buy them. So I apologize if I wasn't supposed to say that yet, but if you go to their website, it's down right now. So obviously something is up, and they did not go out of business. I can assure you that they're doing quite well over there. So when their website is back up and running, you can go to their website at visioncabinet.com and you can buy cabinets directly. I guess you'll be able to just put them in a shopping cart and pay for them and get them shipped to your house. But you can always call them at 270-465-3222. And please tell them that you heard about Vision Cabinet Source right here on Game Set Match Kentucky.
Let me tell you about Family Medical Centers. Family Medical Centers is a community health center with more than 200 locations throughout South Central and a portion of North Central Kentucky. They're in 31 counties. They've been providing health care to Kentuckians for over 16 years. They provide complete primary care services and also offer pediatrics, OBGYN, oral health services, school-based health centers, behavioral health services, substance use disorder treatment, a pediatric wellness program, a workplace wellness program, a discount pharmacy program, outreach services, local scholarship opportunities, and much more. Family Medical Centers has been recognized as a national quality leader by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Check them out on their website, cfmcky.com, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Family Medical Centers, and on Instagram and Twitter at Cumberland FMC. A big thank you to Cumberland Family Medical for recently renewing their sponsorship of Game Set Match podcast.
Well, as we talked about on the last episode that we had last month, the Warren County Tennis and Sports Facility was recently selected to receive one of the USTA's 2023 Outstanding Facility Awards. Representatives from the facility, including our own Chad Young, received this award at the U.S. Open in New York City last month. Chad, what can you tell us about your time in Queens?
It was amazing. Really, it was. I'm sure some folks have been to New York City and Flushing for the U.S. Open, the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. I'd never been to New York City before. So, I got up there the Sunday before the tournament began and kind of did some sightseeing on Sunday. And then the ceremony was actually on Monday around lunchtime at the U.S. Open. And, New York City's huge, overwhelming, so big and busy. And, I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to the nation's capital. I've been to Berlin and London, but New York was just different than anything else. So that was really neat. But the U.S. Open is just amazing. I mean, it's a great facility. They have so many huge venues to watch tennis. I didn't make it into Ash. The tickets that we got as part of the award were just the general admission. So we were able to. I was able to get on to Grandstand. I was able to get on to Armstrong. Watched courts, watched matches on the outer courts. Didn't get on to Ash.
You don't have to get into that big stadium and sit in the nosebleeds where you're not going to see very well anyway.
So it was just amazing. If you've been to Cincinnati, it's very similar in terms of, when you're out on the outer courts, you can watch some great players. I mean, everybody there's a great player, but you can watch some players who may not make it to the show courts, and you get real close access. The biggest thing with the U.S. Opens are just more of those type of courts for you to be able to get close to the players. Grandstand is a great venue. It's one of those you've watched on television for years. I was 3 rows behind Lendl in watching Murray's first round match, which was pretty cool. Just because, if you know Murray, he's maybe infamous for complaining to his box and yelling at himself and yelling at his box. And I think he ended up winning in 4 sets. So he wasn't too cranky, but that was awesome. And then I watched a couple of matches on Armstrong, had some pretty good seats for the night session on Monday. So it was great. I was there 2 days. I went back on Tuesday and watched some more. That's actually when I saw Murray. But the facility being recognized by the USTA was really unbelievable. There were, I think, 29 award winners through the 5 categories. They have large public and private, small public and private, and then education institutions. So we won the large public, and then the facility up in Henderson won the small public. So it was nice to be recognized for the hard work that's been put into getting the facility built, maintaining it, the programs that we offer, and kind of the mission that we have in trying to grow the game and provide recreation for the community.
Did you get to meet the folks from Henderson?
I did. We did. So the ceremony was pretty informal, and Martina Fee, who is on the Soki board and was instrumental in the facility, she's on the USDA board, and she was actually up in New York City for something with her affiliation with USDA Kentucky and USDA National. So she was there, and she knew, I think it was the local league coordinator in Henderson who accepted the award there. So we did chat briefly. It's really interesting. If you've been to the USDA Kentucky Awards, it's a banquet. It's kind of a sit down meal, and then they do the awards presentations and whatnot. This was, as I said, pretty informal. They brought us in there. They had slideshows of all the different facilities. You came up, got your picture taken, and then sat down, and they wanted to get you out of there because I guess they thought everybody really wanted to play some tennis. So they didn't want everybody sitting in a banquet hall for, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it was probably done in 45 minutes, and then it was back to watching the matches.
Well, that's short and sweet. I like it that way. And so it sounds like you had a great time. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But now you probably want to go back as a spectator.
Because to be honest with you, if you've ever thought about going, it is incredibly easy to get there. I mean, Airfare is not terribly expensive into LaGuardia. And LaGuardia to Flushing, there is a bus that'll get you there. Or if you have a hotel, as long as you get somewhere close to a subway station, it's really, really easy to just use public transportation and get out there. And I've been to baseball games where it was a lot more hassle to get there and park and deal with all that. Getting to the U.S. Open was a breeze.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been 22 years since I've been to the U.S. Open, but you get off that train and you can go this way and go to the National Tennis Center, or go right over this way and go to Shea Stadium, right?
Yeah,
or whatever they call the Met Stadium,
City Field now. But yeah, it's just across the tracks essentially.
I thought so. Yeah.
So it was man. I mean, and you literally get off the train and you can, when the train rolls up, you can see the tennis center, and you walk across a boardwalk and you're there.
Yep. That's right. Well, that's awesome. And congratulations again to Warren County and to Henderson for getting those facility awards. That's great. Well, speaking of awards, it's coming up on time for CKTS awards. Actually, in just a month from today that we record this. Talk more about that later, but let's take a look at the point standings, because it's coming down to the wire in many divisions. And these are the point standings through the first 7 tournaments. If you have that pulled up, Chad, do you want to go first with men's open singles?
Men's open singles pretty much decided, because we have one tournament left that's this weekend in Campbellsville, and Braden Johnson has clinched the men's open singles title. He has 13.5 points.
Yeah, nobody's going to catch him.
Nobody's going to catch him.
Yep. In men's B singles, June Tomioka has 12 points, a 2-point lead over Claude Benford. But I don't know if those guys are playing this weekend or not at the Campbellsville Championships. So we'll have to see. I'll bet you June is. Don't know about Claude, but so we'll see how that division shakes out.
Did we ever find out why the streak ended? Can we?
No, but I'm going to ask him that. I haven't seen him, so, but yeah, that's a good question. He missed Miller Park.
In men's singles, I know that Kyle Owsley is playing Campbellsville this weekend because he wanted to make sure he didn't get caught. And Kyle Owsley leads defending champion Jamison Roberts. He has 22 points. Roberts is 4 points back. So by playing, he probably will eventually clinch the title.
Yeah. That one's basically locked up there, isn't it? So that was men's C singles. Men's 40 and over singles, Jackson Grover has a substantial lead over Brandon Harris, who's in second place. Jackson has 17 points to Brandon Harris's 10.
Repeat winner in boys 18 singles, Braden Johnson also has clinched the title there over Jackson Donovan. He has 23 points. Donovan is 11 points back in boys 18 singles.
In boys 16 and under singles, Sam Nelson is in first place with 13 points, followed by Luke Curry with 7. So Sam is going to win that division.
In boys 14 singles, Miles Mudd has a 4.5 point lead over Isaiah Litton. And if you can do some math there, 4 points is the most you get for winning the title. So that means that Miles Mudd has clinched the boys 14 title as well.
All right. And boys 12 and under singles, Isaiah Litton has this one just about as locked up as I've ever seen a division, leading 23 points to the next place player, Mason Hales, with 6 points.
Men's open doubles, Mason Baldwin leads Brandon Harris by a point. Mason has 7 points. Brandon has 6 points. Brandon, I don't know if he's playing this weekend or not. His partner has been on the shelf for the last couple of weeks. So we were going to play in E-Town together. I don't know that you were aware of this. So E-Town was the week after Tri-Level State, and I got a cortisone shot, and arm was feeling pretty good. And I told Brandon I'm good to go to play the Freeman Lake event. And after I played that match at Tri-Level State, I said, I think I'm done for about 6 to 8 weeks. So I kind of left him hanging there.
Wow. Well, you'll be back. You'll be back before I will. So I am out of my walking boot, by the way. I have been for a few weeks now, and I have like a Velcro brace that I put on and off inside the shoe. So I'm getting there. Still a little swollen, still a little stiff. I'm not ready to run. Still do rehab and all that stuff. All right, where are we? That was men's open doubles. Let's go to men's B doubles. June Tomioka is in the lead there, and Van Patterson's in second place. Van will not be able to catch June because June has a lead of 18 to 13 and a half in that division.
In men's C doubles, it could come down to this weekend. Brady and Richard Jackson are both leading the way with 13 points, but Jameson and James Roberts are just 2 points back with 11 points. So depending on who's entered and how that goes this weekend, that title is still very much up for grabs.
That could be a very tense final if they were to play
and
a match.
They've played each other a couple times. They played in Bowling Green, and the Jacksons won. They played in the second Bowling Green event, and
the Roberts won.
Won. And then they just played in E-Town, and the Roberts lost in the semis or lost in the quarters, and the Jacksons ended up winning the title to pull in front.
You've got some draws pulled up. Apparently, you've done more show prep than I have. Apparently, I don't even have those tabs open. So there you go. All right, men's 40 and over doubles. Jackson Grover has a slight lead over Don Humphreys and Steve Humphreys, also known as the Humphreys brothers, even though they're father and son. So 8 points to 6. Jackson has the lead, and I don't know who's playing this weekend. So we'll just have to see how that one comes out.
Boys 18 doubles is close. Right now, Josiah Castanier has a 1 point lead over Nolan Parsons and a 1.5 point lead over Mason Baldwin.
Depending on who plays, the person at 8th place still could potentially end up winning this division. So
now Castanier's played all but one CKTS event. It really does depend on who is headed to Campbellsville this weekend.
Right. Before we move into the women's match, the women's standings, I just wanted to mention a few things that I forgot before we jumped right into the actual numbers. These point standings are on the website right now at cktstour.com. I just put them on there about 30 minutes ago as of the time of this recording. Just a reminder that only paid CKTS members appear in this point standing sheet that you're seeing. If you want your points, you feel like you've earned points, you should have the points. What do we say, Chad? We'll give them until Sunday night, October 1st, to buy their membership, and we'll give them their points back.
Because we track them. I mean, you can see.
They're tracked and ready to publish, but it's one of the perks of membership is that it puts you in the rankings. And also I wanted to mention that there could be mistakes in here. And this is 25 sheets of point standings, and me putting them in as fast as I can. So it is possible that there are some mistakes. And if you believe that you are left out and you should be in there, or that I spelled your name wrong or something like that, please let me know. On the point standing sheet, there's an email address at the bottom, tells you who to contact. That email goes to me. And the final point standings, in less than 2 weeks, those should be out. I mean, they need to be out pretty soon because it's almost time for awards day, which we're going to talk a little bit about that later. In women's open singles, Kayana Kim leads by 2 points over Parker Lawley, 8-6.
In women's B singles, Kay Faisal leads Liz Stevenson by 3 points.
Kay is the only qualifier on that page, unless one of these other ladies plays this weekend. So
plays and pays.
Yeah.
Plays and pays.
Well, all of the ones that you see there have paid, but are they going to play? You have to play at least 2 times in a division to qualify for an award in that division. So if your name is in blue, you haven't played twice yet. If your name is in black, you've played twice and qualified. If your name is red, that means you're in first place. In girls 18 and under singles, Addison Hales has a 2-point lead, 9-7 over Chloe Dickens in second place.
In girls 16 singles, Paisley Harris has a commanding lead over Andrea Herrera. She has 15 points. That's 8 clear Herrera, so she has clinched that title.
No one's going to catch Paisley.
In the 16s or the 14s.
And nobody's going to catch Paisley Harris in the girls 14 and under singles. Even bigger margin here, 20 points to 6 over Andrea Herrera. And yeah, she's got it locked up.
Good coaching. Good coaching.
I guess so. That's one of yours, right?
So is this one. Leela Owsley has a lead in girls 12 singles. She has a 2-point lead, 9.5 to 7.5 over Ellie Yan.
Okay, and Ellie's played 2 tournaments in a row. If she plays 3 tournaments in a row, this could be interesting. We'll see what happens. In women's open doubles, Minda Schaefer leads Claire Riney 12 points to 7.
Sorry, I lost my place there. In women's B doubles, Amber Wolf leads Allie Evans 14-8. So Amber has clinched the women's B doubles title.
Congratulations to Amber, and good luck to Amber this weekend running the Campbellsville Championships there at Miller Park in Campbellsville. The numbers are kind of small because it's fall break, but it's her first tournament. So I think that makes for manageable numbers. First time running a tournament, and she's got excellent weather forecast. And the only bummer is that she has torn her ACL and has to have surgery soon, and she's not playing herself.
What is it about being a tournament director and being injured?
Yeah, I don't know. Something in the water, I guess. In girls 18 and under doubles, Addison Hale has a razor thin lead, 11-10 over Parker Lawley.
In mixed open doubles, it's a close one. The female leader right now is Kiana Kim. She has a 1.5-point lead over Abby Helm. And then in the men's, Darren Polston has a half-point lead over Nathan McQuarrie.
And I think Darren is playing the Campbellsville Championships, but I don't think he's entered this division. I could be wrong. I don't think he is. But I think Nathan and Abby are in it. So
I think, have they played? Let me scroll back up here. No, they haven't played everyone. So
no. In mixed B doubles, Amber Wolf has the female lead with 12 points, just a 1-point lead over Jessica Owsley in the second place female spot. Evan Brown and Brian Coley are tied for the male lead in mixed B doubles with 11 points each.
And those are doubles partners. So if we had a Brown, Wolf, Coley, Owsley final in mixed B doubles.
Well, Amber's not playing because of her knee. So, yeah, I saw her earlier today. She's in a knee brace and supposed to have surgery soon. I hope it's okay that I said that. You know, I'm spilling all the tea today, am I not?
In mixed 18 doubles, on the boys' side, Samuel Bryan has a commanding lead over Salem Harris. So he's clinched that. And Alexis Hales has a 1-point lead over Kara Clark.
All right. So that's a look at our current point standings through the first 7 tournaments, the 7th tournament being the Freeman Lake Fall Classic. So we've got one more set of point standings coming out very soon within the next 1 to 2 weeks, which will include all the 8 tournaments that we've had this summer wrapping up with the Campbellsville Championships.
And let me correct myself. You tried to give me credit I didn't deserve.
I did.
That I had the draws pulled up in that men's C doubles.
Okay.
I was just going by the numbers because I saw 2 by the Roberts and a 4 by the Jacksons. They were in a round robin in E-Town, and the Jacksons went 2-0. So that's why they got the 4 points. The Roberts went 0-2, and that's why they got the 2 points for a semifinal finish.
Okay.
So they did play, and the Jacksons beat the Roberts. So that's how they have moved into the lead.
Well, I didn't know that the Roberts played them in the semifinal versus playing somebody else in the semifinal because I didn't have those draws pulled up. So when I saw that they're, and the non-members are hidden, so I didn't know who the Jacksons played without going and looking up those draws. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Perfect. Okay. Maybe to us, but
right.
But I didn't like that undeserved credit, so I did pull up.
No. I'm giving credit. I'm
just
spilling
sure
tea. No problem. All right, let's see what's coming up for the CKTS. Of course, this weekend is the Campbellsville Championships. It's our final tournament of the year. The next thing we're doing in the CKTS is Awards Day on Sunday, October 29th. And what that will be held at the Buchanan Indoor Facility in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And how do we usually do this, Chad? We have open tennis play from 1 to 3. Bring your racket, bring your gear, go out and pair up with other fellow CKTS people and play some sets, play some tiebreakers, or just hit around. And then we'll do awards at 3:00 in the little meeting room just off the front lobby at the Buchanan Tennis Facility. Does all that sound correct?
That sounds absolutely correct. And take advantage of the free courts. They're not free, they're free to you. The CKTS is
CKTS is covering it.
Paid for those. But we'd love to have a line. We'd love to have people waiting. We've been fortunate to kind of have the ability to just walk out there and play, but we'd love for people to come to the award ceremony, and we'd love for you to come out and enjoy some free tennis as well.
And we usually give away a little bit of free swag,
There's door prizes.
Yeah, we do. We do usually have a few door prizes, and I'm thinking of doing something a little different with the awards this year. I don't want to spill that tea yet, though, because I'm working on it, but I don't know. Don't know for sure. Okay. And that's all I'll say about that. By the way, the 2024 schedule is in the very early planning stages. We have a lot of exciting possibilities that I don't want to spill the tea for yet. That should have been the title of the episode this week. Is spilling the tea. I don't know. But hopefully by year's end, we'll be able to announce that schedule. That's what we did last year. We had a holiday episode, if I recall, and we announced it on that program. But you can keep up with CKTS by going to cktstour.com or following us on Facebook, on facebook.com/CKTS Tour, or on Twitter at CKTS Tour. I guess it's called X now, Chad. Elon Musk changed the name to X. I still call it Twitter, as do probably most people. Yeah. All right. I know that Soki Tennis is operating year-round these days, and I know they've got some stuff coming up. What can you share with us about tennis happenings coming up at Soki?
Well, we have a pretty neat program that we started in September, and we'll offer another session in October. We have a Tennis 101 doubles strategy class. We have some, Warren County Parks and Bowling Green City Parks both have programs. They have camps and clinics for all ages at Kariakis Park. And so we have a lot of adult beginners that come out of those classes and, kind of want to get into, they've learned some strokes, but they want to get into match play, but it can be overwhelming, getting out there and playing. And certainly we want to get them into leagues as well. And so Rob Balgi is teaching another session, which is designed to help you understand strategy and positioning, scoring, kind of going all over all those things to get people comfortable to get out and start playing matches if they've taken a lesson or they've been in a clinic or a camp. So that'll be at Kariakis again in October. On Sunday afternoons, you can find more information on that at SoKTennis.com. That's where you'll find all of our classes and clinics. It's a little warm as we're taping this, even though we've started fall, and people really haven't moved indoors yet at the facility. I expect that'll happen sometime in the next couple of weeks when the temperatures drop. So we're offering our men's and women's drill clinics and our cardio class. Those are on Mondays and Tuesdays, women and men, and then the cardio is Wednesday morning. And then we have a junior league that starts on October 9th as well. So a week from this coming Monday, we have a junior league, which is something new. And we're trying to get some of our best juniors to compete against one another outside of their school year and their school teams. And so we're really excited about that. We have an advanced session and an intermediate session for some of our better junior players, our more experienced players in the area. So we've got a lot of things for young and old and new and experienced players, and all that is available at SoKTennis.com.
You mentioned the display.
Oh yeah, there's I almost forgot about that. There's a project that we've been working on, and we have just kind of revealed it to the public in the last week. I've had some rackets that were donated. Mark Bowling is a guy who's been playing tennis and bowling for years, and he had some rackets, and he had some folks who had contacted him. And so what we're hoping to do in the foyer in between our two double doors, there's a room there. And we are hoping to display some vintage rackets and kind of have kind of an evolution of the tennis racket. So we've got some rackets that a lot of people will remember from when they grew up playing tennis. We've got a number of wooden rackets. We've got a Jack Kramer. We've got a Stan Smith. We've got an old Davis Cup racket that we believe comes from the early 20th century. We've got the famous Jimmy Connors T2000. So we've got a lot of rackets. We've got a nice display. We're going to put up some information giving a description of the year the racket was introduced and who played with it, because we've got a board, we've got an Everett, but we want to really have a nice display. And so we do want people who have a particularly unique or particularly instrumental racket, maybe one of the first graphite rackets. It's kind of like a museum, and that's how we're going to treat it as such. So if someone wants to donate for display, we'll put up some information recognizing them that it's their property and they've loaned it to us for this purpose. But it's a decorative thing to kind of give the facility a little bit more character. But I think it's really going to be a neat way to show how rackets and strings and head sizes and all that stuff has kind of evolved over the decades.
Few old wooden rackets that I've collected from Goodwill store, garage sales. People have given them to me, and my wife would love to give those to you to hang on the wall there, but I won't let her because they're mine and I'm going to hang them up somewhere. So
the difficult thing is we've got 26 hanging right now. We've probably got the ability, unless we really change our our mind on where we can put them. We probably got the room to put 4 more. So we have really the ability to display about 30 rackets, and that doesn't mean we won't leave one up and then take it down and replace it with another one, like they do in museums.
Gallery would do. You would swap out some of the collections, you know.
And we'll take care of them, and so but they'll be available to the public. So I mean, we're really excited. We don't know where this is going to end up, but I think people who come to the facility will really enjoy seeing some of the old rackets on display.
I think it's a really cool idea, and I'll bet that, you know, as some people visit and see that, they'll say, "Hey, you know, I've got an old can of tennis balls from the 1940s that's still in really good shape. Would you like that? You could hang it up there on a shelf." And you're gonna get all kinds of memorabilia. You're gonna have like a little, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, Chad's holding up an old can of McGregor tennis balls. What do you think the year is on that?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna guess maybe the 70s.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's got a Spalding ball inside.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I don't know if it used to be yellow and it's faded over time, or if it's really one of the white tennis balls.
Well, weren't tennis balls all white until the 1970s?
Yep.
Yeah. And they changed them to yellow for television. So, all right. Well, as Chad said, you can learn more about Soki Tennis at sokitennis.net or visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Soki Tennis. I had to check and make sure. I keep muting my microphone so I can cough. I've got this nagging.
On cue, right on cue.
Mute again there and cut it out. I'm sure a couple of coughs have slipped through on this recording, but I've been trying to hit the mute button every time I'm coughing. But facebook.com/Soki Tennis, and you can keep up with what they are doing there. And I'm sure they're going to put some pictures up of their racket collection. At the Lake Cumberland Tennis Association, our friends over there are having a superhero tennis Halloween event on Monday, October 30th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is for kids 12 and under, and it'll be held at Pulaski County High School. And you need to wear a costume. You need to wear a superhero costume. So kids, it's free to come and participate in this. It's only an hour. Get your superhero costumes ready, and we'll see you on the court. For more information about the Lake Cumberland Tennis Association, just visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Lake Cumberland Tennis. And USTA Kentucky doesn't have a lot of immediate pressing announcements right now, but I'm sure we'll have some by the time of our next broadcast. But you can always keep up with them and all of the tennis events happening with USTA Kentucky. Go to KentuckyTennis.com, or on Facebook, they're at USTA Kentucky with the word Kentucky all spelled out. That's also their Twitter handle at USTA Kentucky. And you can check them out for tournaments, leagues, events, grants, anything you want tennis related.
There's one other kind of big event tying those two together. We are hosting in Bowling Green the tri-level sectional championship. That's coming up October the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So we're expecting more than 700 players from across the, I think, 9 states in the southern section. So we still need volunteers. If you're interested in being a part of that event, we're still looking for sponsors of that event as well. It's the first time I think Bowling Green's ever hosted a sectional. So we're really excited about state champions from across the South coming to Bowling Green.
All right. Well, if you have anything you want us to announce on this program, just email it to info@gamesetmatchky.com. We'll announce just about anything tennis related, or what the heck. We'll announce whatever you want us to announce, I guess. We don't have a challenge the call question this week, but Chad, I had one in mind, and I thought I would use it if we weren't running long, but we're starting to run a little bit long. So I'm going to save it for next time because it's something that happens more than we realize, and some people don't know what to do about it. So that will be the next challenge the call question. Otherwise, that's going to just about serve out this episode. And I want to thank everybody for listening or watching. You can subscribe to the audio version with any major podcast app on your mobile device. And in your podcast app, I know that you can do this in Apple Podcasts for sure. I'm sure you can do it in most podcast apps. You can give us a 5-star rating and write us a short review. We'd love it if you would do that for us. You can also visit GameSetMatchKY.com to go back through old episodes of this program. And anytime we give out links or we link something that we mentioned on the show, that's the place to find it, in the show notes on the website, or they're also available in the podcast apps where you're listening to this audio. Please go and like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/GameSetMatchKY, or you can just search for Game Set Match Kentucky, the podcast. Also go to facebook.com/CKTS Tour and give a like there to keep up with the CKTS. Chad is on Twitter at Chad Young Tennis, and I am on Twitter at Chris Godby. We'd like to once again thank our sponsors, Vision Cabinet Source and Family Medical Centers. There's that sound, Chad. We don't hear it as much as we used to on television now, but Hawkeye says we are out. So until next time, I'm Chris Godby with Chad Young, and this has been Game Set Match Kentucky.